Welcome back everyone, this is MandoAllDay back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing a review for the Harley Quinn No Good Deed Volume 1. So I'll be talking a little bit of the story, the art, and giving you my honest opinion and thoughts of the book itself. So let's get right into it. This is how the front of the dust jacket looks. The back. Alright. Let's see what it looks inside. Or front of the book. Back of the book, and of course the full spread. All right, now let's take a look at the book itself. So this book starts off with essentially Harley Quinn, and she's trying to she's a Harley Quinn. She's trying to go home, so to speak, and while she's trying to go home, everyone's kicking her out. So obviously she goes to Killer Croc's lair, and of course he kicks her out. So she gets kicked out, and while she's out and about on the streets, aka homeless, even the public want her out as well too, because of what happened in prior to this story. So this story takes place shortly after the Joker War story. So if you're asking yourself, do you need to have prior knowledge or have read the Joker War story? The answer to that is not necessarily. Because they do reference in terms of what happened at the Joker War story, but it is not really required. So just letting you know. But I would recommend reading it. But do you really need to? No. So you're perfectly fine. But anyways, so now you have here Harley Quinn. She's actually homeless. Even the public are not wanting her as well too. So she decides, you know what? She wants to do something good. She wants to actually kind of give back because she feels guilty of what happened in the past. So one day she's in her apartment. She gets a visit from Batman, and kind of Batman's like, "What are you doing here? You know, what's going on?" So Harley Quinn kind of explains to Batman, like, you know, she kind of created a list of all the people that she's done wrong and how she plans to kind of redeem herself. And while she's talking to Batman, Batman gets a call from Oracle, basically saying there's a fight that broke out in a carnival. So obviously Batman goes, and Harley Quinn's like, well, let me join you. Harley Quinn's like, let me join you. And of course, as always, Batman says, and leaves. So Batman leaves to this carnival, break up the fight. And while Batman's there, of course, Harley Quinn arrives and meets a character named Kevin. Now, Kevin is a character that was, I want to say it's the main character, but he appeared in the Joker War story. So Harley Quinn recognizes him and kind of starts talking to him and says, you know what, Batman, let me talk to Kevin. Let me see if I can kind of heal him per se. You know, and that's where this whole story starts off, where Harley Quinn wants to make good ends in terms of what she did in the past. And the way she starts doing that is by gathering all the people that were involved in the Joker War and kind of get a group going where they can actually do good. While all this is occurring and happening, there is another story arc with Dr. Hugo Strange. And it's mainly of Hugo Strange doing some shady practices. And again, I'll be vague because I don't want to spoil anything, because this is volume 1, so it is a bit short of a story. But he's doing some illegal stuff, and again, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, so he's doing illegal stuff. And that's the second, that's the other story. But the main story itself is going to be obviously Harley Quinn and try to redeem himself of what she did in the past. And that's how essentially the story continues on, where she's gathering people, gathering old clowns, and she's trying to create a plan where she wants to do good now. And while all this is happening, aka Hugo Strange gets involved and starts taking back those clowns away from Harley Quinn. And there's a reason for that. And that's where, again, like I said, that's where the story kind of progresses onto. Now, this is volume 1, so I don't know how it ends, but for the most part, from what I've read, I actually enjoyed this story. This is a fun little story. Is it one of those stories where it's, oh my god, it's really breathtaking? No. I will be honest with you and say no. This is just one of those fun, easy to read, light stories where you can just have a good time with it. And I had a good time with it. Same with the art. I think the art reflects that story or what they want to tell. It is a little different art, but it's very simple, clean art, and I really enjoyed it. The story, again, was very, very good. From what for me, because I went into it knowing this is a Harley Quinn story, and Harley Quinn stories usually entail a lot of weirdness to it. And this book is just that. It is sometimes weird. And sometimes Harley Quinn does some decisions where it's like, there's no logic to it, even though she has a PhD. There is no logic to it. But that's the fun part about it, because it's Harley Quinn. The Harley Quinn is, again, crazy, and he does some weird stuff, and that's her. That's her personality, and it shows that. And I think they did a really good job in telling the story of Harley Quinn trying to redeem himself, doing good for the community and what she's done. And again, this is volume 1, so there is no end story to it just yet. But for the most part, from what I've read in the story, I enjoyed it, man, and I would recommend it only if you are open to reading a Harley Quinn story that is weird and out and about. So if you're not into that type of thing, or very light-hearted story, then you probably are not going to like it. But if you just want to read a Harley Quinn story and not have so much prior knowledge to it, have a good time with this book. This is a fun book, and I really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend it. And yeah, that concludes my review for Harley Quinn. No Good Deeds, or No Good Deed, excuse me. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read this book? Do you agree with me or not? Leave it in the comment section below. Any questions? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, if you want to watch more reviews like this, or be updated with any reviews that come out, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And yeah, that concludes my review for this book, and on to the next one.